Tower of God. Tower of God is actually a manhwa, Korean anime series. So when we see shows like this that are made from South Korea with good storytelling, great writing, and has a captivating story, we're very excited when we see a show like this get a season 2. So now we have the Tower of God anime is ruined. So let's see what his discrepancies that he has for this season. I haven't watched this season yet, but I want to give it time up until I feel like I'm ready to watch season 2 of Tower of God. So let's just jump in, let's give our reaction, and let's see what's happening in Tower of God. Let's go.
So back the away from me, because I don't know how your breath is hotter than your flames. So, alright, so I don't know how I'm gonna approach this video, to be honest, just because Tower of God is a very sensitive topic for me. But if you haven't seen episodes 1 through 5, I will say to click off this video right now. So I'm kind of stuck because I don't know if I want to approach this video in my normal sort of format, or if I should just like kind of talk about it. I don't know. I'm just gonna start speaking and see what comes of it. So Tower of God season 1, I remember I had to have been late high school, or maybe it was early college. I don't even fucking remember at this point. But I remember watching it, and there was just a feel to the show from all the other shows at the time, and even up until this point in time, there was never really a similar feeling replicated with another show in terms of aesthetic and just like visual appeal.
Yeah, this manhwa is really captivating. It has such a different concept, a different vibe. It hits all the marks that you wouldn't expect for a show like this to actually hit. Incredible show. You guys should watch Tower of God season 1. It's gonna leave you on the biggest cliffhanger you've ever seen.
And also in terms of just like atmosphere, potential story, like there was a lot kind of riding on the show from season 1 alone, and people were still saying shit was like skipped over. Now luckily for me, I didn't read the webtoon or anything like that, so I didn't really feel that. Season 1 for me, I think I said it before, is like damn near a 10 out of 10. Obviously hearing the news about season 2, I think it was damn near 2 years ago, 3 years ago at this point, and then it finally coming to fruition, like I had my shit in my hand, you know what I'm saying, and I was excited. And episode 1 comes out. First thing they show us is the notorious betrayal of that evil, conniving, stank ass, broke ass, stupid red dress ass, like what type of fit is this? Uneven bangs, dumbass, imitating a cripple. That's I think a federal offense. Ass Rachel. Hell it is, yeah. That's where she should go. And I don't even remember much from season 1, and I do need to go back and rewatch it.
Same.
But this is one thing that I think everyone in their fucking previous generations and future generations remember. This was a wicked betrayal. I'm not gonna lie. And I don't know why I didn't see it coming at the time. Yeah,
I also didn't see it coming.
Because if I fell to the bottom of the abyss and I woke up to a 5'11" stallion with a cold ass eye patch, a staff in her hand, and a beautiful dress that she probably got from like Rainbow or something, I'll spend the rest of my days down here, and I'm completely content with that, because I'd like the color red to be more so of a blessing than a curse, because the last hint of red I would have seen fall into the depths would be the red on Rachel's dress.
Damn.
So I'd like this red to save me. But
Rachel,
that's the point. So we see that he's going to be having a training arc with her, and the other girl that was introduced in episode 1 of season 1, who gave him the sword, if I recall correctly, was talking with her family and requested, I think it was of her sister, to search for Bam. And instantly when I saw that there was a new character on the cover, I was kind of getting like a Vinland Saga season 2 type of feel in terms of how they were going to go about it. Because remember how like Anther was like the main focus of season 2, even though our main character is clearly Thorfinn. That's sort of how I was looking at this guy, the blonde haired dude, and his name is like Ja Wembenyama or something like that, and nice kid, is in massive amounts of debt to a loan shark or something like that, plans on climbing the tower. And also early on we're introduced to another one of our characters, the flame princess lady, who is also considered royalty. And I remember watching this the first time. My first qualm about the show early on was the atmospheric change, you know, and it's like obviously we're kind of in a different setting, and again, as I said, I need to rewatch season 1, but like I feel like the tone went from a very saturated and dark color to a more like light pastel sort of like color swap, you know. And that was something that I was questioning and still am, because I really don't know how it fits the show. That's one thing that I'm probably gonna like mention a lot during the video, because I don't know why they decide to go this route. And we get into the first test and we're shown Bam for the first time. I do not know how much time has elapsed from when Rachel pushed him down to now. I'm sure they might have said it. I don't remember them saying it. But I'm not gonna lie, the nigga's cold.
Yeah.
this log-haired look shit that he has going on with the dark cloak and the hair above the face, he came back like the fucking Undertaker. And I'm sure if Rachel saw him right now, she damn sure would not be in that wheelchair. And she'd show everyone that she could run perfectly fucking fine. And we're introduced to a couple characters. We're introduced to a little cutie patootie with glasses, you know what I'm saying? A little cutie. And some big brolic guy who rightfully so has a crush on the glasses lady, and this other tall gentleman who has gray on gray orange eyes. He's got like a nice sharp look to him, but he instantly tries squaring up with Bam and points his umbrella in his face. Bam moves that shit out with his left hand when he's right down. Instant 8-trigram air palm. And then the other nigga hops in and it's like a battle royale.
Damn.
And he's kind of like shulking. He could like switch his stance,
that is
I guess,
cool.
with the wing on his back. I don't even know, but
that is
cool
pretty
too.
cool.
And they're all like going after each other. Bam like pops his pre-awakening or something, and he has like the purple electricity around him with the cursed energy. This shit, like when I saw this scene, I was like, maybe this shit will be hard. And after that, then they try to jump Bam, and he starts working.
Oh yeah.
And Wembenyama's running, but then he says something that makes Bam have PTSD and get caught by his Pokeballs. And he almost turns his ass to dust, but then he awakens his shit from what are those things from Tokyo Avengers? The Kagunes? Not Tokyo Avengers, dog. Tokyo Ghoul. Whatever the fuck this exoskeleton is. This nigga's the founding titan. And if I saw this display from Bam and I was in the test room, I'm opting out immediately and I'm gonna call it quits. And I'm just working a regular 9 to 5. I'm not climbing any tower. And I mean, you gotta feel bad for Bam. He goes in the elevator by himself because those niggas are saying he smells. And you could tell he's just like putting on a front. But after watching this first episode and seeing that little action scene of like the electricity in it, I was like, okay,
it's gonna be good.
I'm not a fan of the coloration, but this is still something that like can end up looking good. In the next episode, we see that Wembenyama's debt collector is also trying to climb the tower, Flame Princess and her sugar daddy, and the test proctor for this next one looks like he should be one of the 7 toys that they offer in a Happy Meal. And this next test has to do with like the water, the shooting sweet, whatever the fuck this shit's called. And of course, when it's Bam's turn, he damn near breaks the machine.
Oh,
the problem is the proctor has beef with the clan that Bam is representing because he's taking on another. He's like Viola or something like that, which is obviously not him. So I'm assuming that's part of the plan that he's formulated with the red-haired lady to move up. And correct me if I'm wrong. He's told that he needs to pick 7 people out of the ones in the room to take with him to the next round. And when they're told that, everyone starts making their pleas. Wembenyama's screaming to the heavens, saying he'll do anything, and he means anything. And the tower's a serious deal, so you know he'll suck some shit together. Like, I know he is. He doesn't have to say, like, I understand exactly where he's coming from. And then we have the gray-haired nigga lying that he has a daughter trying to finesse his way in. But see, he's not falling for the peer pressure. This is like everyone yapping in his ear to try, like, drugs at a party, you know? But he's not falling for it. He's not succumbing to it. Here's my answer. I'm choosing no when all of y'all are pussy.
Shit.
Next test must be taken as a team. You need to pick teammates. Proctor, look at the population of people in this room right now and ask yourself if they are worthy of being my teammates. Let's be honest here. Who comes to try and climb the tower with a cut like this? This kid thinks this shit is Teen Beach Movie. What the fuck do you think you are, you arrogant asshole?
Nah.
You're taking me. And aren't you embarrassed to be proudly wearing that fake-ass cloak anyway? Proctor says what I'm talking about. She swears I've got reps on right now. My name is Juviole Grace, and I'm a Food Slayer candidate. The shit I rock is not fake. My money is up, astronomically, actually. Wait, so you're actually... I just said you are not my teammate. You are my enemy. And yes, this is the shit I do. So back the fuck away from me, because I don't know how your breath is hotter than your fucking flames. So after Bam starts standing on his shit, the proctor's like, all right, I'll propose a deal. If you win, we'll allow you to take the test by yourself. If I win, then you got to take teammates. Again, it's like, I know this is like an indirect buildup, and then eventually it's going to cross paths, because in episode 5, like, we see Kun and his side of things and stuff like that. So eventually there's going to be a meetup point somewhere. That's probably when the story will feel a bit linear again. But as I'm watching this, I feel like the quality is almost going down a little bit, you know? And it's like, I know they're not boxing and there are no like intense action scenes at the moment, but even so, like I feel like in these more calm and chill like moments where they're just having dialogue and like I don't know, like it feels like there's a dip in quality.
Yeah, that happens.
In comparison to season 1, just as the season progressing. But again, that just might be me trying to find some shit wrong with this. But like that's really not like my mentality as I'm watching it and talking about it now, just because it's like I want the shit to be good. Like I was like hoping when this shit dropped that this would be anime of the year candidate. Like that's kind of
Mm.
how I'm viewing this show. But afterwards, everyone gets roomed up. Bam gets put with the Flame Princess. She tries seducing him a little bit. He's already got his heart broken once, so he doesn't have time for that. And we're taken out to
Mm.
the hallway. The girl that was chilling with the girl with the glasses, she's out wandering by herself without any parental supervision. And then she almost gets taken to Diddy's warehouse. Talking about,
Oh
would you like some
shit,
candy? If you see any candy
bro.
that is in this generic ass wrapping, there is something illegal in there. And as this was
Yeah.
progressing, the gray haired guy, I'm sorry, I'm like really bad with names so far in this season, but like I do like him. He's a cool character, and I can see him dying, honestly, because they're making him pretty likable. And they're just hanging out, playing cards, got a little blunt in the rotation. Then the test begins in the middle of the night. As soon as the test starts, Bam's intentions are to just go straight to the fucking proctor and challenge him or do whatever he has to do. Flame Princess is trying to stop him, and then the nigga has the world. So not only does he have the Tokyo Ghoul shit, the nigga has Dio stand. And where the fuck do you think you're going, Foog? If you want to leave, then first you're gonna have to go through me, and I'm a brick wall. So they say I got shit. Like I got this shit really. You left that
It's
nigga in
gone.
thumbs up position. Obviously, Wembenyama and his boys, like, they're starting to team up and build more trustworthy relationships with each other and try and tackle this thing like themselves. And we see that the loan shark is plotting some devious shit, and then Bam pulls up to the proctor, and it's like, this is really the part for me where my very slight smile starts to like mentally turn to a very slight frown, because it's just like I'm looking at the combat and there's something that just feels very clunky and fairy tale-y to me. You know, like how fairy tale, like they'll punch, the characters are like in one motion, and the background's just like the fucking anime lines, and nothing's really happening. Like it's just night and day.
Yeah.
Like those niggas were moving in season 1, especially in that one challenge where they had the crown in the middle, and it was sort of like a free for all, if I'm remembering it correctly. Yeah, no, like I'm looking at it, and I'm looking at the crown game, and it is just so
Damn.
there's just so
No.
much more character and fluidity. Like as I'm watching it, I'm getting
Damn, that sounds really disappointing, man. How can you have a decrease of anime like fight scenes? That's the most important thing, is the fight scenes. The fight scenes always need to be on point. You should never ever ever decrease your fight scenes, because it's something where we notice as anime fans. We will always compare this fight scene with this fight scene, no matter which generation. We've done it forever. Naruto, even this year's Jujutsu Kaisen, and such and such.
mad because I'm looking at the new season and it just looks so flat. Like there's just
Mm.
no character to it. And like even the attacks just look pussy. And it's like for me at least I feel like I'm a very like simple dude with the shit. For me it's like even if you have a simple story, if you have good animation, like I'm there. You
Mm.
know, but the problem I feel like at least for like a fighting show, it's like if you have a good story that you're not really trying with, and
Mm.
also have like very mid animation, then you're just like, then that's where you're losing me. Because
Yeah.
it's just like I don't know. I don't know what it is. I'm not from Japan, obviously. I don't know the philosophy and the thought process behind like all this stuff, and I don't know how the animation studios work. I don't know how this shit works. But like, there's no way that they go about this looking at it thinking that this is an improvement in quality, right? Or am I tweaking? And it's like, again, I'm ignorant, so like educate me in the comments. Like I'm asking genuine questions. It's just like I don't get it.
Mm.
I really don't get it, because it just seems like sometimes these projects are picked up by studios who don't actually have love for their product. You know what
Uh,
I
I say it's mostly budget. It has to do with budget, paneling, and who's your artist. Because these things take a minute. To make an anime is not easy. Number one, like we all saw the catastrophe of Jujutsu Kaisen season 3, episode 17. I don't know if 17, 19. A lot of people are like, this is the greatest episode ever, but a lot of it, man, was just rushed. It was rushed, 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 rushed. You know, when you compare episode 1, like episode 1 is like god tier anime, and then from there the quality just, but it is what it is. It's the whole rushing crunch rushing, just yeah, that's what dips these anime studios a lot. Like the whole crunch, the rushing, and it's not really passion or anything like that. It's nothing like that. It's just it's they rush.
And it's like you could tell with some shows. And again, that's not to say it's bad, but it's just like it's very lackluster in comparison to what we had. Like there was no show looking like Tower of God season 1. Not one. At least from the ones that I've watched. It just looks like every other show that I don't even know how to describe it. Like it looks like a normal anime. Basically. And no, so
Bro, what?
his little
What's that statement? It looks like a normal anime. Like that's the most dumbest statement ever.
friend that came to the tower with him and was in their group also betrayed him to the loan shark because an old woman was helping her out and she wanted to help her and they had business with him. And he decides not only is he gonna scam Nia, he's just gonna kill the fuck out of her.
Damn.
So this nigga's a real deal criminal. And this is what the tower does to people. It corrupts them in the mind. Lurker, stop. Lurker, stop. Wagwan. This is what happens when I don't get my money. Now that you're in this world with me, just embrace this evil. Because
True.
you really just try to, you put on this half-assed, pretend to be a good guy attitude. When
But we know.
just as bad as the rest of us. And just as much of a bitch. Yeah, I'm a bitch. And I know I'm a bitch. I just scammed the fuck out of a 10-year-old nigga. Scammed the fuck out of her. Not only am I taking her off this planet, I'm not sparing that old woman either. I'm taking everything that she's got and I'm also killing the fuck out of her. I'm a bitch. But that's just the world you live in. And you are just like me. I am you. Wagwan. And Wagwan starts crashing out. Hands on the head and everything. So you think after such like a traumatic event that he'd become the villain. He even has the fucking Gara eyes right now. But Wembenyama pulls up on Bam while he's fighting the Proctor. Throws his Pokeball in there, gets the remote himself, and he says, Bam, help me. Well, no, he doesn't say Bam. And he basically says, come with me, let's take care of these evil guys, whatever. And then the snobby rich kid gets betrayed by the fucking gold-haired nigga. Lurker has his hand around the Flame Princess who got corrupted by this big-ass lizard freak. And it's like,
Damn.
even looking at this fucking circus act of a character, right? I think it's just because it's the line. Because I'm imagining this shot alone in the other art style where like the line work was kind of not sloppy, but like bleeding off of them a little bit. And it's just because everything is too like sharp and the lining is too thick. Like it's fucking it up for me. It really is. And the wing nigga starts taking on Goldberg and says he'll show him the power of a real demon. And he actually starts like unleashing his wing a little bit. And Wagwan gets his hands on Lurker, gives him a right hook, and he's in the room with him. And he's kind of beating the fuck out of him. So I don't know why he didn't do this in the first place when he pulled up on him in his own house. Oh, I guess he had bodyguards with him. But he even starts speaking from like a godly stance, talking about you are currently receiving divine punishment. So I'm thinking he's about to turn this nigga into 4 pieces. But you know what he does? He says, you know what? You're forgiven. Clean slate. And then he told that boy, live a decent life from now on. I don't even know. Like,
what?
The way everything has been playing out, it's felt very jumpy for me.
Yeah.
And Proctor ends up getting them fried chicken and they end up moving up in the tower together. And the last episode that I've watched so far, because I'm assuming by the time this video is out, episode 6 will be out, is episode 5. We get a perspective switch to Kun, and he recruits some fast nigga in the cafe by baiting and switching him. And the main point I want to talk about in this episode is Rachel, because Rachel is shown. First thing I'm thinking is they're fucking. First thing I'm thinking, because she says, welcome back, Kun. He says, I'm home. So I'm like, no way this thing is doing this. Because I was going to say that would have been some scandalous, like, get back. Because I also couldn't remember if they even showed Kun, like, hearing the information about Bam, quote unquote, dying, and whether or not he suspected Rachel of doing it. So I was confused. Like, I didn't know if she had him tricked here. But knowing how knowledgeable this nigga was in season 1, I don't even know why I thought that way, because I knew he would have seen right through her shit. But she starts giving us her fucking sob story. I dreamed about Bam again. Shut the fuck up. I know Kun wants to throw a mean left into that fucking cheek right now. Look at her eyes. Eyes of a serpent. This demon. Those aren't humanly. Kun, I really miss that man so much. Like, I can't believe Bam killed those monsters and, like, he was saving me and stuff. Like, I just don't know. Baby girl, forget him. Bam Fine died for you, and the one thing that he would want me to do is take the reins and be
That is
next
so
in
funny.
line for your hand in marriage. You know me, so this shit is not Bachel anymore. This shit is Kachel, sweetie pie. Thank
Right.
you so much, Kun. And Kun had that knife in his hand. And I knew he just wanted that. and they show the rest of Coon's crew. And I don't know if any of these people were in season one, so I am gonna rewatch because I'm sure some people were shown. Maybe, I don't know, but I don't know if this is his little brother or Killua or something. But they look damn near identical. And
True.
after Coon's little interaction with Rachel, he's so disgusted he has to go wash his hands a second time, deep clean and everything to wash away that filth. And as soon as the door closes, they switch up on you, just like that, prancing around in a circle, eating her apple slices, jumping back onto the bed. And as I was saying, Coon's smarter than this because he has eyes on her. He has surveillance outside the fucking window. And we get a flashback of him talking to this character who I think I recognize from season one. But he's basically just telling him to plan about the team he's going to form and how he's going to carry the burden himself. And then later on, he relays the information to his new team about what's going to be going on because they're climbing the tower soon. Here's what's going to happen, y'all boys. We're going to be climbing this tower very soon. And I'm going to need you to do one thing and one thing for me because I'm planning on being the head of this family, the head of the Coon family.
Oh
And I'm going to
shit.
need you guys to protect Rachel with everything you've got, but do not befriend her. Do not think of her as a friend, and do not think of her as an acquaintance so you could turn your back on her at any time necessary. And I'm going to be honest with y'all, I hate her because of one thing only. She killed my dearest friend. If it were my choice, and if I wanted to succumb to the evil and succumb to the temptation, I'd have her head on a fucking stick in the middle of the courtyard out there.
Shit.
But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to play the long game. And we're going to help her climb this fucking tower. And then we see her doing her maniacal laugh as the OST's playing. And this is why this shit is pissing me off. Because the OST for the show is so fucking good. The opening's good, by the way. I didn't even talk about it. Opening and ending. And this whole scene with Kun talking and like it transitioned into like the words on the screen and him being like, I'm sorry, Bam. And like the build up, like everything about it was genuinely a good scene and a very intense scene. And then after that, we're just taken to the karaoke bar where I guess our girl is working and she's talking to a Bam impersonator, calling him a pig multiple times. But Bam blasts him off the face of the earth, and she's just like, Vio, your friend's here. And that's the episode, you know? And again, I know it's build up, and I know that shit takes time, but I feel like the animation has gotten, for what the show was bad.
That's very concerning. You know, it's losing the plot. I don't know. Is it following the manga? That's one thing which I need to know. Like, is it following the manga? How the manga was? You know, because as much as we can hate on it being shown like this, is it following how the manga is, the manhwa or manga, you know? Is it following how it is, Because that's very concerning hearing all of this, because season one was just boom, 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 boom. We have to ascend to the tower to make it to the top to see Rachel. And now hearing this, like, it's just sounding like a mess, It's sounding like a pure mess, where it doesn't sound entertaining. It doesn't sound like it's a show that was the way it was before. It's not the same way as it is now. And for me, I have no problem with art styles. Art styles, peh, it is what it is. I think for me, a show like Dead Man Wonderland, a show that was made way back then, which lost budget, shit went bad for me. After that show lost its art styles, I think I from there I never really gave a fuck about art styles or how they animate stuff, because it is what it is. You never really know what's happening in the whole studio. But right now, like, it's just very concerning when I watch this show and seeing the state that it's in. Hopefully it's not going to be like this for forever. Maybe it's just a hiccup, who knows. We'll see what's gonna happen next. But yeah, it's very, very, very concerning when I hear what's happening in this show. No cap. Okay, guys, I will see you guys in the next episode. Like and subscribe. Tell me how you guys feel about Tower of God this season, and I'll see you guys next time.